Delighted to start our CES coverage and weeks worth of coverage, by the way, so do stay tuned into tomorrow with our very first guest, who is the brand new chairman of CTA. Lucky him, because he thinks he has a life. Well, the next couple of years are going to be very busy for him. Not that they haven't been already anyway, but that's kind of what happens with the chair of CTA. He's also the CEO of a company called Boingo. You've heard me talk about them a lot over the years. Dave Hagen. Dave, welcome back into tomorrow. It's been a while. How are you, sir?
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here.
And glad to have you with us. And now, especially as chairman of CTA, this is your show now for the next couple of years. So we're glad that you could kick off our broadcast. For those who, I don't know, maybe have lived under a rock for a while, like 50 years, how do you describe what CES is?
Well, CES is the biggest trade show for all of consumer technology. So it's where buyers and sellers come together, look at the future, look at what products are going to become market makers down the road, and come to either agreements or at least develop the relationships that then turn into agreements for product distribution later. So it's the world's largest trade show around consumer technology.
And produced by CTA, which you chair, and that's the Consumer Technology Association. About a year ago, name change. It was the Consumer Electronics Association. And by the very nature of technology these days, you guys had to do a name change, because it's not just about electronics. It's not just about products. That's still the vast majority of what's going on, especially at CES. But so many technology companies that don't make products, but they make technology, or they deal with things, or provide services. That kind of forced a name change, but for all the good reasons, right?
No, correct. CES, the show, and then CEA, the former CEA, its heritage was all about true consumer electronics. Yeah. So televisions and radios, which was the founding of the organization, of the association. If you've been to CES, like you have for the last 22 years, you've seen that it's expanded well beyond TVs and radios, which are still very cool.
Oh, yeah.
But technology has gone much broader, and the show has gone much broader, and so the change of the association to the Consumer Technology Association just represents that much broader, what we'd like to call a big tent around technology. So we want the CES and the CTA as an association to represent all of technology, just not televisions and radios, if you will.
Because you've had sort of the Googles and the Amazons of the world, and people that say, hey, we're in the technology business, but we don't have a product, so we need to be more involved too, and want to be, and are in fact, these kind of companies, and the Ubers and Lyfts and whatnot.
Sharing economy companies are all represented here.
Yeah,
so yeah, CTA
time.
And CES want to represent all technology companies and help them, support them in their innovation and disruptive technologies, because that's what grows the economy, that's what makes the world a better place. So CES and CTA play, we think, a very foundational role in that.
Oh, absolutely. And innovation is the key. Let's not.
That's our mantra.
Yeah,
yes,
let's not
absolutely
stifle innovation. Let's grow it and continue to let it happen and prosper. And that's amazing. Now I've got to turn to where you're wearing your other hat, and that is, in your spare time, you're also the CEO of Boingo, which my first experience, I know I've shared this with you on the air, and I've told our audience many times, was in the Tokyo airport. And I just had a heck of a time, and I said, what is this Boingo thing? Many years ago. What is this Boingo thing? Okay, let me get on, let me subscribe, let me find out what's happening. And then I realized, my gosh, in my travels, this works everywhere. I've had more great experiences with not being worried about being online and being in touch and connected since I've gotten involved and gotten online with Boingo. Tell our audience what Boingo is all about, and then we'll get into some fun things that you guys are doing these days.
Sure. And so what you just described, and what many people know us as, is the company that helps you get connected to Wi-Fi networks wherever you are in the world. Mm-hmm. That's what we're most known for. We're actually doing much more than that, and building wireless networks in all types of different venues, some that are Wi-Fi and some that are in partnership with the cellular carriers. So what we call distributed antenna systems. So
distributed antenna systems.
Yeah, so they're cellular extension networks, and the simple way to know that your phone suddenly is not connected to a tower miles away, when you're only on one bar, you walk into an airport, certainly goes up to 5 bars, you're probably on a system, a network system that was been built in that venue. And we do that in many of the venues in which we provide Wi-Fi as well.
So we don't even know that you're providing that
invisible,
in addition.
it's magic, it's invisible. But it's a very big part of our business.
Oh, cool. So and that's of course working with the carriers, right?
That's correct.
With the Verizons and AT&Ts and T-Mobiles and whomever else. But so folks get the idea that, okay, that's why we don't know, we don't care as long as it works.
Exactly.
Right? And it works well because now we've got increased bars.
Yeah,
not for drinking.
Exactly. We don't go into that business.
No,
right?
Good. The business you don't need to be going into.
But as you just described that, the way that your cellular phone works is where we're taking Wi-Fi. So your experience with Wi-Fi has been you go in through an app, whether it's on your laptop or on your mobile phone, and increasingly you're no longer going to have to do that. So Wi-Fi networks are going to interact much more like cellular networks. So as an example, we have a relationship with Sprint. So a Sprint customer walks into one of our venues, their phone automatically connects onto the Wi-Fi network. Everything that the customer does from that point on is free to them, and then Sprint pays Boingo. So again,
so going into an airport or a hotel or something, if I was a Sprint customer, I wouldn't have to worry about it. It just happens.
Correct.
Nice.
So
we'll do it with the other carriers quick.
We're working on it.
I'm sure. Well, they would be smart in doing it with you.
Thank you.
Because it's such an appropriate deal for the end user, and that's really it's the customer.
It's all about making it easy.
Yeah.
And if we can make it easy and free, that's a magic formula.
God, we all love that, right? Easy and free.
Yeah.
Let's live life that way, if only, right? But that's how many Boingo. I mean, do you even count Boingo hotspots anymore? I mean, I remember as you were growing, it was like, oh my God, am I glad I got on their system years ago? Because check out the advantages we have of being able to be connected literally around the world.
It's about 1.5 million locations around the world.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. And I remember when there were, a couple of hundred, and I thought that was impressive.
We started with a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And I think the product cost $79.95 a month.
Yeah. And at the time, it was like very reasonable because you got to be connected.
Because you couldn't do it any other way, right?
Right. Oh, precisely.
So the business has changed a lot over time.
And what does the product cost now?
It's $9.95 for unlimited usage on a monthly basis.
Wow.
Unless you get in on another way, like American Express Platinum cards, they get access for free. Sprint customers get access for free. So lots of ways to access the network, and that's what we're all about, making it easy to get connected.
I'm loving it. See, that's being disruptive also in a good way. I mean, there's that disruptive technology that as an end user consumer, I don't care how it works, just that it does.
Right, and we're disrupting ourselves.
Yeah,
in many ways.
Oh, of course.
And so we're fans of that. We think if we don't do it, someone else will. So we should be aggressive with it.
And you might as well be the leader in doing that. And real quick, that reminds me about the CTA's new Disruptive Innovation Council that you're certainly very involved in. Real quick, tell us about that and what can we learn about what's happening there.
So as you know, the CTA is very supportive of any innovation. Right? We want to drive innovation, and with innovation comes disruption. And so we want to be part of the solution that innovation and disruption is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
We may need to manage our way through it, but it's actually a good thing. And so the Innovation Council and Disruption Group is all about bringing together companies that are leaders within their categories and changing markets in the way that people do business.
Love it. Well, Dave, you're always fun to talk to, and now I'm going to put you on the spot on the air and say, promise me we'll get you more frequently, because during your tenure, especially as CTA chair, so many things to talk about on a regular basis that we got to get you back frequently.
Happy to do it.
Excellent. Well, we'll look forward to that. Boingo.com, Boingo.com, to see what Dave and his team are up to on a regular basis. 1.5 million hotspots. Go figure. That's amazing. That's why we've stayed with them all these years too. And of course, you can visit what's the current website we're giving out for CTA these days? CTA.tech, isn't it?
That's correct.
There you go. So you can learn more there. We'll link you to those sites as well when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. I'm Dave Graveline. We're back with more as we continue extensive coverage from the show floor at CES 2017 here in Las Vegas on the Advanced Media Network as Into Tomorrow continues.